Millionaire mother gets distracted and is shocked to see a homeless man with her wheelchair-bound daughter. Jennifer Anderson was running late for a meeting that could change the course of her company when she suddenly stopped on the sidewalk. Her eyes widened at the scene before her. A man in tattered clothes and a wool cap was lifting her young daughter into the air while the little girl laughed like she hadn't in months. The empty blue wheelchair sat beside them, and Jennifer felt her heart race. Her 4-year-old daughter Emily was radiant in the arms of that scruffy-looking stranger. The businesswoman rushed toward them, a mix of panic and indignation surging through her. "Take your hands off my daughter right now," Jennifer shouted, snatching Emily from the man's arms. The little girl began crying desperately, reaching her tiny arms toward the stranger. "Uncle Bob! Uncle Bob!" Emily sobbed between tears. The man, who appeared to be around 50, raised his hands in surrender. "Ma'am, I was just playing with her. She seemed sad, and how dare you touch my child? Where's Maria?" Jennifer looked around frantically for the nanny. "She went to buy water at the pharmacy over there." The man pointed to the nearby store. "You ran off and the little girl was left alone. I just wanted to make her smile." Jennifer placed Emily back in the wheelchair, but the child kept crying and calling for Uncle Bob. The businesswoman had never seen her daughter so attached to anyone, especially a stranger. Maria came running back with a water bottle in hand, her face pale with fright. "Mrs. Anderson, I only left for 2 minutes, I swear." 2 minutes? Jennifer was furious. "You left my daughter alone with a homeless man," the man finished calmly. "That's what you were going to say, wasn't it?" Jennifer felt her face burn. That was exactly what she'd been about to say, but hearing it from his own lips filled her with shame. I need to take Emily to physical therapy," she murmured, pushing the wheelchair forward. Emily kept looking back, waving at the man still standing on the sidewalk. "Bye, Uncle Bob. Come back tomorrow?" The man waved back with a sad smile. "If your mother allows it, little one." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers a lot. Now, continuing, throughout the entire physical therapy session, Emily was restless and downcast. The therapist, Dr. Sarah, noticed the change in the girl's behavior. "Is she okay?" "She seems more withdrawn today," the professional remarked. Something strange happened. Jennifer recounted the encounter with the homeless man. "Emily became so attached to him. I don't understand." "Children have a special intuition about people," Dr. Sarah said. "Maybe he has a natural way with them. I don't care. I don't want my daughter near some stranger living on the streets." That night, Emily refused to eat dinner and kept asking for Uncle Bob until she fell asleep. Jennifer was torn between maternal protectiveness and curiosity about the man who had made such an impact on her daughter. The next morning, Jennifer decided to leave the office early to pick Emily up from therapy herself. She wanted to make sure there would be no more unwanted encounters. When she arrived at the building where Emily's Hope Center was located, she saw Maria pushing Emily's wheelchair toward the entrance. But that wasn't what caught her attention. It was the man from yesterday sitting on a nearby bench, discreetly waving at Emily. The little girl's face lit up as she waved back excitedly. Jennifer parked the car and strode purposefully toward the group. "Maria, I told you not to let Emily near that man." "Mrs. Anderson, I didn't. He just waved from a distance." The nanny defended herself. The man stood up from the bench and approached. "Ma'am, can I speak with you for a minute? We have nothing to talk about." "Please, it's about Emily." Jennifer hesitated. There was something in his voice that made her stop. "5 minutes," she said, glancing around to make sure they were in a safe place. "My name is Robert Wilson, but Emily calls me Uncle Bob. I know you have no reason to trust me, but I need you to know I mean no harm to your daughter." "How can I be sure of that? I don't know anything about you." Robert lowered his eyes. "I used to be a doctor, a pediatrician to be exact. I worked with special needs children for over 20 years. Jennifer felt a shift in his demeanor. "A doctor? Used to be? What happened?" "I made a mistake, one that cost me everything. My license, my reputation, my family." His voice faltered. I've been living on the streets for 3 years now. Emily started fussing in her chair, reaching for Robert. Uncle Bob, tell the bird story again. Robert smiled at the girl, but didn't move closer. What story? Jennifer asked, curious despite herself. Yesterday I made up a story about a little bird who couldn't fly but found other ways to be happy, Robert explained. Emily loved it. Jennifer watched the genuine warmth in his expression as he looked at her daughter. There was something there she couldn't quite place. Why were you in this neighborhood yesterday? I pass by here every day. I've known Emily's routine for weeks. I always wanted to help, but I never had the courage to approach. You've been watching us. Jennifer felt a chill. Not the way you're thinking, Robert hurried to explain. Emily always looks sad when she passes by. Yesterday was the first time I saw her alone, and she was crying. I couldn't just stand there. Jennifer glanced at Emily, who was still trying to reach for Robert from her chair. Maria, take Emily to physical therapy. I'll catch up in 5 minutes. When they were alone, Jennifer crossed her arms. Prove you're a doctor. Robert dug through his pockets and pulled out a worn, tattered wallet. Inside was an expired medical ID and some yellow documents. Dr. Robert Wilson, medical license 12,847, Jennifer read aloud. Pediatric specialist in child neurology. Was, Robert repeated. I'm not any of that anymore. What happened? What was the mistake? Robert closed his eyes briefly. A child had a bad reaction during a procedure I was performing. An allergy that wasn't in her records. I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough. The child. She survived, but with lasting damage. The family sued. They found out I'd been working exhausted. 3 back-to-back shifts. The medical board blamed me for negligence. Jennifer felt a weight in her chest. The story was tragic, but she still had doubts. And your family? My wife couldn't handle the scandal. She took our daughter and moved out of state. I haven't spoken to them in 2 years. You have a daughter? Had. Rachel. She was Emily's age when it all happened. At that moment, Jennifer understood the look in Robert's eyes when he saw her daughter. It was pain mixed with longing. Robert, You don't have to say anything, ma'am. I know I can't undo things. I just wanted you to know my intentions are genuine. Emily reminds me so much of Rachel. Jennifer was silent for a long moment. What's your full name? Wilson, Robert Henry Wilson. I'll check your story. If you're lying about anything, check everything. I have nothing left to hide. That afternoon, Jennifer hired a private investigator to verify Robert's story. 3 days later, she had the full report in her hands. Everything he'd told her was true, and in those 3 days, Emily had asked for Uncle Bob constantly. She refused to eat properly and became more withdrawn during her physical therapy sessions. Mommy, did Uncle Bob disappear? Emily asked on Wednesday morning. He didn't disappear, sweetheart. He's just busy. Is he coming back? Jennifer didn't know how to answer. The investigator's report had left her unsettled. Robert had indeed been a renowned doctor, specializing precisely in Emily's condition. His credentials were impeccable until the incident that destroyed his career. Even more disturbing was learning that the child's reaction had been caused by an allergy not recorded in the medical file, incorrectly provided by the parents. Robert had been unfairly blamed, but the trauma had completely broken him. On Thursday, Jennifer made a decision. She returned to the place where she had found Robert, but he wasn't there. She asked Maria if she had seen him, but the answer was no. Ms. Anderson, can I tell you something? Maria asked hesitantly. Of course. Emily hasn't been the same since she stopped seeing Dr. Robert. She doesn't want to do her physical therapy exercises, doesn't want to play, doesn't want to eat. Dr. Robert? Sorry, I just found out he was a doctor, and I saw how he looked at Emily. It was the same way my mother used to look at me. Jennifer sighed. Even Maria had noticed something special about that man. On Friday, she decided to actively search for him. She asked some of the local homeless people if they knew Robert. One of them directed her to an area near the bus terminal where he usually spent his nights. She found him sitting on a small bench, feeding pigeons with breadcrumbs. Robert? He looked up, surprised to see her. Ms. Anderson? Did something happen to Emily? No. Well, yes. She's been depressed since she stopped seeing you. Robert lowered his head. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. May I sit? He gestured to the space beside him on the bench. Jennifer sat down, smoothing her elegant suit. I looked into your past, she said directly. Robert tensed. And? You were wronged. The words came out more easily than Jennifer expected. Robert stared at her in surprise. That doesn't change what happened. Yes, it does. You were blamed for something that wasn't your fault. But the child still suffered. Because of me. Because of incorrect information you were given, that's very different. They sat in silence for a few minutes, watching the pigeons. Emily wants to see you, Jennifer finally said. I want to see her too, but I understand if you don't allow it. I want to make you an offer. Robert looked at her curiously. What kind of offer? Come work for me, as Emily's therapeutic companion. Ms. Anderson, I can't practice medicine. I'm not asking you to practice medicine. I'm asking you to be a special friend to my daughter, someone who understands her needs. I don't have a place to live. I don't have proper clothes. We can work that out. I have a guest house on my property. It's not big, but it's comfortable. Robert was silent for a long time. Why are you doing this? Jennifer thought before answering. Because I saw my daughter smile for the first time in months when she was with you, and because everyone deserves a second chance. What if I disappoint you? What if you don't? Robert smiled for the first time since Jennifer had met him. When can I start? Today, if you want. Emily is at home with Maria. We can stop by so you can see the place. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing, Jennifer's mansion was located in the upscale Upper East Side neighborhood of New York City. It was an imposing structure with well-kept gardens and a pool in the back. The guest house was small but charming, with one bedroom, a living room and a compact kitchen. It's perfect, said Robert, looking around with moist eyes. There are clothes in the closet. They might not fit perfectly, but they're better than what you're wearing, Jennifer explained. They belong to my ex-husband. And he won't mind? He no longer has any say in what happens in this house, she replied, her words sharper than she intended. Robert didn't ask any more questions about it. When can I see Emily? Now, if you'd like. But first, I need to set some ground rules. Robert nodded, waiting. First, you can never be alone with Emily unless Maria or I are present. Second, anything related to her health must be reported immediately. Third, this is a trial period. If it doesn't work out, we end things without hard feelings. I agree to everything. And Robert? Jennifer turned before leaving. Thank you for making my daughter smile. When they entered the main house, Emily was in the living room doing home physical therapy with Maria. The moment she saw Robert, the little girl let out a joyful cry. Uncle Bob, you came back. Robert knelt beside her chair. I sure did, kiddo. And now I'll be staying here to play with you every day. Every day? Really? Really? Emily looked at her mother, as if seeking confirmation. It's true, sweetheart. Uncle Bob is going to live in the guest house and help you with your exercises. What exercises? Fun exercises, Robert smiled. Remember the story about the little bird. I'll teach you exercises even birds can't do. The first few days were about adjustment. Robert quietly observed Emily's routines, learning her likes, her fears, her limitations. He didn't intervene much. He simply made himself present and available. Slowly, Emily began to open up more. She laughed more often, did her physical therapy exercises with more enthusiasm, and for the first time since the accident that left her in a wheelchair, she talked about dreams and future plans. Uncle Bob, when I can walk again, I'll run just like the bird that learned to fly, she said one day. Robert and Jennifer exchanged glances. The doctors had been clear. The chances of Emily walking again were slim. And if that doesn't happen, Robert asked gently, would you stop being happy? Emily thought for a moment. I don't know, but you said the bird found other ways to be happy. And it did. Want to know how? Emily nodded eagerly. It discovered it could sing more beautifully than any bird that flew. It learned it could build the most creative nests. It realized it could be the best friend to other birds who were sad. Just like you? Just like me, Robert smiled. Sometimes life changes our plans, but that doesn't mean we can't have a beautiful life. Jennifer watched these conversations from afar, struck by Robert's simple wisdom and how he managed to convey deep messages in a way Emily understood. After 2 weeks, Dr. Sarah noted a remarkable improvement in Emily's condition. I don't know what you're doing, but she's much more receptive to the exercises. She even tried standing with support yesterday. It's Robert, Jennifer explained. He has a special way with her. Robert? A friend who's been helping with home therapy. Does he have any training in the field? Jennifer hesitated. She hadn't told anyone about Robert's medical past. He has experience with children. That evening, Robert knocked on the main house's door. Jennifer answered, finding him with a troubled expression. Can I speak with you? Of course. Is something wrong? It's about Emily. I've noticed a few things during her exercises that I think should be looked into. Jennifer's heart raced. What kind of things? She's regaining sensation in her legs. It's subtle, but it's happening. Are you sure? Almost certain, but it needs to be evaluated by a specialist. Can you evaluate it? Robert shook his head. I can't practice medicine, remember, but I can suggest specific tests for her doctor. The following week, Emily underwent a series of exams. Dr. Michael Richardson, the neurologist handling her case, was surprised by the results. It's remarkable, he told Jennifer. There are signs of neural recovery that weren't present in the last exam 3 months ago. What does this mean? That Emily may have a better chance of recovery than we thought. Who suggested these specific tests? Jennifer explained about Robert, omitting the fact that he was a doctor. I'd like to speak with him. He has impressive technical knowledge. This conversation planted a seed of worry in Jennifer's mind. What if someone found out Robert was a doctor and was practicing medicine unofficially? She could be accused of putting her daughter at risk. Her concerns grew when her sister Rebecca came to visit over the weekend. Who's that man in the back? Rebecca asked, watching Robert play with Emily in the garden. A friend who's helping with Emily. Helping how? He seems a little suspicious. Suspicious, why? I don't know, Jennifer. A single man living in your house, taking care of your daughter. People will talk. What people? Our friends, the neighbors, people at the firm. You're a successful executive. You need to protect your image. Jennifer felt a growing unease. She hadn't considered the social implications of her decision. Emily has improved so much since Robert arrived. What if he has ulterior motives? What if he's taking advantage of the situation? He's not taking advantage of anything, Rebecca. How can you be sure? You barely know the man. That night, Jennifer lay awake thinking about her sister's words. Had she been reckless? Did Robert really have only good intentions? On Monday, she decided to dig deeper into Robert's past. She hired the same private investigator to uncover every detail about the medical case that had destroyed his career. The report arrived 3 days later, and it was devastating. The case had been far more complicated than Robert had let on. The child he'd been treating had suffered permanent damage. The parents had sued not just Robert, but the entire hospital. Several doctors had lost their jobs. Jennifer also discovered that Robert had undergone psychiatric treatment after the incident and had attempted suicide twice. She felt betrayed. Robert had withheld crucial details about his mental state. How could she trust him with Emily knowing this? That afternoon, Jennifer confronted Robert while Emily napped. We need to talk. Of course, did something happen? Why didn't you tell me about your psychiatric treatment? Robert paled. How did you find out? That doesn't matter. What matters is you lied to me. I didn't lie, I just didn't share everything. Suicide attempts are important details, Robert. Robert sank heavily into a chair. I thought if you knew, you wouldn't let me near Emily. And you were right. How can I trust you with my daughter knowing you have mental health issues? I don't have mental health issues, Robert defended himself. I went through a depressive phase after losing everything. Anyone would. You tried to take your own life twice, and I didn't try a third time because I started helping underprivileged kids. They gave me a new purpose. Jennifer paced back and forth. I don't know if I can continue with this. Jennifer, please, look at Emily, she's better. The tests prove it. Don't let my past destroy her future. Your past is exactly the problem. How do I know you won't relapse? How do I know you won't hurt Emily? Because I'd rather hurt myself than hurt any child. Jennifer stopped walking and looked at him. That's exactly the answer that worries me. That night, Jennifer made a difficult decision. She sent Robert a message asking him to leave by the weekend. She needed time to think. Emily noticed Robert's absence the next day. Where's Uncle Bob? He had to go on a trip, Jennifer lied. When is he coming back? I don't know, sweetheart. Over the next 3 days, Emily visibly regressed. She stopped doing her exercises with enthusiasm, became quieter, and started having nightmares again. Maria noticed the change and questioned Jennifer. What happened to Dr. Robert? He's not working here anymore. But why? Emily was doing so well. Maria, that's none of your business. On Friday, Dr. Michael called concerned. Jennifer, Emily missed her physical therapy today. Is everything okay? She wasn't feeling well. Can I speak to Robert? He had given me some exercise suggestions he wanted to discuss. Jennifer lied and said Robert was traveling, but the call made her rethink her decision. On Saturday, Emily had a crying fit that lasted hours. I want Uncle Bob. Where's Uncle Bob? He's gone, sweetheart. Why? Did I do something wrong? Jennifer's heart broke seeing her daughter blame herself. No, sweetheart, you didn't do anything wrong. Then why did he leave? He said he'd stay forever. Jennifer didn't know how to respond. How do you explain complex concepts like trust, risks, and parental fears to a 4-year-old? That night, she received an unexpected call. It was Rachel, Robert's daughter. Mrs. Jennifer, my name is Rachel Wilson. I'm Robert's daughter. Jennifer was surprised. How did you get my number? My father gave it to me. He said if anything happened to him, I should call you. Did something happen to Robert? He's in the hospital. He tried to hurt himself again. Jennifer felt the world spin. Which hospital? Mercy General Hospital. Mrs. Jennifer, I know my father is helping your daughter. I know he's a good person despite everything that happened. How do you know that? Because he called me every day since he started working for you. It was the first time in years I'd heard him happy. He said your daughter reminded him of the joy of helping children. Jennifer felt a heavy weight in her chest. How is he? Stable, but he's asking to speak with you. Jennifer hesitated only for a moment. I'm on my way. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps those of us just starting out. Now continuing. Mercy General Hospital was quiet in the early hours of Saturday. Jennifer found Rachel in the waiting room, a young woman in her 30s with the same kind eyes as her father. How is he? Jennifer asked, sitting beside her. Physically, he'll be fine. Emotionally, I don't know. Rachel sighed. He said he let down the only person who'd trusted him in years. He didn't let me down. I was the one who... I know what happened. He told me everything. You found out about his past and sent him away. Jennifer felt defensive. He withheld important information. As a mother, I have to protect my daughter. I understand. But can I tell you something about my father? Jennifer nodded. When I was little, he was the best father in the world. After the medical accident, I watched him destroy himself inside. Not out of pride or fear of punishment, but out of genuine guilt. He truly believed he'd failed that child. And hadn't he? The case was reviewed 3 years later. They found the problem was with the hospital's equipment, not his procedure. But when they tried to contact him to reverse the decision, he was already living on the streets. Jennifer felt as if she'd been punched in the gut. What? My father was exonerated, officially. He can practice medicine again. but he never knew because he completely isolated himself. Why didn't you look for him? I did. For 2 years, he refused to see me, said he didn't deserve to have a daughter. And now? Now he wants to see me again, because of your daughter. Emily reminded him of who he really is. Jennifer fell silent, absorbing the information. Can I see him? The doctors said yes, but only one person at a time. Robert's room was small and simple. He was awake, staring out the window. When he saw Jennifer, his eyes filled with tears. You didn't have to come. Yes, I did, Jennifer said, sitting in the chair beside the bed. Robert, Rachel told me about the case review. Robert closed his eyes. That changes nothing. It changes everything. You were cleared. Only on paper. The child still has lasting effects, which weren't caused by you. Robert stayed silent for a long time. I tried to forget Emily when you sent me away, tried to go back to living on the streets like before, but I couldn't. She reminded me of Rachel when she was little, of the joy of watching a child grow and thrive. Robert, when I realized I couldn't live without purpose again, I thought it would be better to disappear for good. Jennifer felt tears in her eyes. And Emily? Did you think of her? I did. That's why I'm still here. I can't abandon a child who needs me the way I abandoned my own daughter. You didn't abandon Rachel. You were sick. The reason doesn't matter. The result was the same. Jennifer took his hand. I want you to come back. Emily needs you. And I need you too. Robert looked at her in surprise. Even knowing everything, especially knowing everything. Now I know you're a man who cares so much about children that you'd punish yourself for mistakes you didn't even make. What if I break down again? Then we'll face it together. Rachel and me. You're not alone anymore. Robert began to cry. I don't deserve a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. You taught me that. 3 days later, Robert was discharged from Mercy General Hospital. Jennifer and Emily were waiting for him at the entrance. Uncle Bob, Emily shouted from the back seat of the car. Robert knelt by the window. Hi, sweetheart. I missed you. I missed you too. Mommy said you were sick. I was, but I'm better now. Are you leaving again? Robert looked at Jennifer, who nodded encouragingly. I'm not going anywhere, I promise. Back at the house, Jennifer made an important decision. Robert, I want you to know I'm going to help you officially restore your medical license. Jennifer, you don't have to. Yes, I do. You deserve to practice again, and Emily deserves the best possible care. But how? I have connections, resources. We'll fix this. Robert's professional rehabilitation process was complex and lengthy. It involved lawyers, meetings with the medical board, psychological evaluations, and endless paperwork. During that time, Robert continued working informally with Emily. The girl's progress was remarkable. She regained sensation in her legs and even stood for a few seconds with support. Mommy, look, Emily shouted one day, wiggling her toes. Jennifer and Robert exchanged emotional glances. Well done, sweetheart, Robert cheered. Now let's try moving your whole foot. Dr. Michael was impressed with the progress. I've never seen such rapid recovery in cases like this, he told Jennifer. Robert truly has a special gift. After 4 months of legal proceedings, Robert finally had his medical license restored. The ceremony was small, just for family and close friends. Thank you, Robert whispered to Jennifer. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Just keep helping Emily, that's the only repayment I want. Rachel was at the ceremony, and father and daughter finally managed to rebuild their relationship. Thank you for giving me back my dad, Rachel said to Jennifer. Thank you for helping me understand who he really is. With his license restored, Robert was able to formalize Emily's treatment. The results were even better, with access to proper medical equipment and protocols. 6 months later, Emily took her first independent steps. Mommy! Uncle Bob! I'm walking! She shouted, wobbling between the two adults. Both rushed to steady her, laughing and crying at the same time. You did it, sweetheart, you did it! Robert lifted her into the air. Just like the little bird in the story, Emily giggled. Better than the little bird, Jennifer corrected, hugging them both. That night, after Emily fell asleep, Jennifer and Robert talked on the porch. "Thank you for believing in me," Robert said. "Thank you for teaching me that appearances can be deceiving," Jennifer replied. "What happens now?" "Emily's almost fully recovered," Jennifer smiled. "I was thinking of opening a clinic, a special clinic for children who need care like Emily did." "A clinic? With you as medical director, Rachel as administrative coordinator, and Emily as our little ambassador of hope." Robert was speechless. "You'd do that?" "I already am. I bought a property last week." 2 years later, Emily's Hope Center was fully operational. It served children from all walks of life, offering cutting-edge treatment regardless of their family's financial situation. Emily, now 6 years old and walking normally, loved visiting the clinic and talking to the other children. "Uncle Bob helped me walk again," she told the little patients, "and he'll help you too." Robert had become a leading figure in pediatric rehabilitation. His story of overcoming adversity inspired both patients and colleagues. Jennifer discovered that helping others gave her life far greater meaning than just accumulating wealth. "I never thought a chance meeting on the sidewalk would change our lives so completely," she remarked to Robert one afternoon. "It wasn't chance," Robert smiled. "It was fate. Emily needed me, and I needed her to remember who I really am. And I needed both of you to learn what truly matters in life." Emily ran up to them, interrupting the conversation. "Mommy, Uncle Bob, come see." The new girl moved her arms. The three of them rushed off to celebrate another small victory, another miracle that happened every day in that special place built on second chances and unconditional love. Rachel had moved to New York City to work at the clinic and had practically become part of the family. She and Jennifer developed a strong friendship, united by their gratitude for Robert and their love for Emily. "Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if you hadn't given my dad a chance," Rachel said to Jennifer one day. "Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if Emily hadn't had such a pure heart that she saw kindness where I only saw danger," Jennifer replied. The clinic grew and became a national reference. Families came from all over the country seeking the specialized treatment Robert had developed, combining advanced medical techniques with love and care. Emily became a little junior therapist, always ready to comfort and encourage the children who arrived scared and discouraged. "Remember the story of the little bird?" she'd tell each new child. "He thought he'd never fly, but he found out he could be happy in other ways, and then she learned to fly too." Robert watched these scenes with a heart full of gratitude. He had found not just a purpose, but a true family. Jennifer had also changed profoundly. She still ran her company, but now with a completely different perspective on success and priorities. "Do you know the best investment I ever made?" she asked Robert on the clinic's 3rd anniversary. "What?" "Trusting you that day in the square." "And do you know the best gift I ever received?" Robert replied. "What?" "The chance to be Emily's father and to have Rachel back in my life." Emily, now 8 years old and a bright, determined girl, decided that day she wanted to be a doctor when she grew up. "Just like Uncle Bob," she announced. "I want to help kids walk and run and be happy." "You'll be an amazing doctor," Robert said, hugging her. "I will, and I'll have an even bigger clinic than ours." Jennifer and Robert laughed at the girl's determination. "With you in charge, I'm sure it'll be the best clinic in the world," Jennifer said. That night, looking through Emily's bedroom window as she slept, Jennifer reflected on the journey they'd taken. From an unexpected encounter on the sidewalk had grown an unconventional but deeply loving family. From a man who had lost everything had emerged a renewed professional and a devoted father. From a child who seemed destined for limitations had risen a little warrior full of dreams. Robert appeared beside her. "What are you thinking about?" "I'm thinking life has a funny way of giving us exactly what we need, even when we don't know we need it." "True. I thought I'd lost everything, but I was really being prepared to gain it all. And I thought I had everything, but I didn't have what truly mattered." They stood in silence, watching Emily sleep peacefully. "Robert," Jennifer whispered. "Yes." "Thank you for teaching Emily that limitations don't define who we are. Thank you for teaching me it's possible to start over, no matter how far you've fallen. Thank you for teaching me that family can be made in unexpected ways." Emily stirred in bed and murmured in her sleep, "Uncle Bob, Mom, love you." The two adults smiled, knowing they had built something truly special. A family based not on blood or tradition, but on love, trust, and second chances. Years passed, and the story of Jennifer, Robert, and Emily became legendary in the medical community. Emily's Hope Center wasn't just a treatment facility, but a symbol of hope and proof that miracles happen when brave people choose to trust one another. Emily grew up and did become a doctor, specializing in the same field as Robert. Rachel took over the clinic's administrative leadership, allowing Robert to focus entirely on patients. Jennifer expanded her business to include other social initiatives, always remembering that true success isn't measured in money but in lives changed. And Robert? Robert finally made peace with his past, understanding that the mistakes he thought he'd made had actually prepared him to be the doctor and the man he was meant to be. The story that began with a frightened mother shielding her daughter from a stranger became a beautiful tale of how love can overcome prejudice, how trust can heal deep wounds, and how the most special families are sometimes the ones fate assembles unexpectedly. Emily, now a young woman, still told the story of the little bird to her small patients, always reminding them that no matter what challenges life brings, there's always a way to find joy, purpose, and love. And when they asked her what the most important moment of her life was, she always answered, "The day a kind man taught me I could be happy even in a wheelchair, and my brave mother decided to trust him." Because that's when our true family began. The end of the story. Now tell us what you thought of this touching story. Do you believe Jennifer made the right choice by giving Robert a second chance? Share your honest thoughts in the comments. We can't wait to read your reflections on this journey of love, trust, and overcoming challenges. Thank you so much for being here with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss other heartwarming stories like this one.